Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another MyTeam video here today. Today is time for the Belgian Grand Prix. It's round number 13 out of 22. And today is an exciting one because we need to gain points on our teammate if we want to stay in the championship fight. He's a long way ahead of us, but first we have to go through the break and then we can finally go to the Belgian Grand Prix. As you can see on the screen, it says all sun throughout the whole weekend, so that's good for us as we are not that fast in the wet compared to the AI. So hopefully with this weather forecast we can go for at least a podium, but hopefully a win as well, because that's something that we will need. If we do not get a podium here, this could mean that our title hopes are over, but hopefully that's not going to happen. As we go into qualifying, because we skipped the practice, it's no use at all to go into practice anymore. Alright, so qualifying, as you can see, going out on our first lap. And I think I did something wrong in the edit because this is already Q2. So I paused Q1 without any problems, it wasn't that interesting. So I decided to skip it and go on to Q2, as you can see, our first lap here. And yeah, it's a long track, it's a great track. It's the longest track on the F1 calendar. Maybe in the future there will be a longer track, but for now it's the longest. And I've been here in my life. I've been here twice IRL. I made a video about it, so if you haven't seen that one, I'll put the link in the description, and you can find it on my channel as well. But we are now going through Camel Straight and on to Fuon we go. I am a great fan of this track because the corners that are here are so iconic. The feeling of the track is awesome, and going to bus stop chicane, the last two corners in the circuit. I don't think this is the best lap, but we go for another one. As you can see, it's P6 at the moment. So yeah, it's not the thing that we want to see, slower than a Alpine and a McLaren. But if needed, we can always go out again, and so we do. With 1 minute 20 to go, we are starting our final lap here in Q2, and hopefully this will be enough for us to get through to the next part of qualifying, as my teammate is the only driver in the pits. But as we all know by now, that's something that is always the case. So here we go then for our final lap in Q2. And it looks like we are at P10 at the moment, so that would mean that we go through, but of course everybody is improving on the times, and as you can see, down to P12 we go, but we are improving by 6/10, even a purple second sector. So color signs not that fast compared to us if we can do all 3 sectors in purple, but we didn't manage to do that in the first one. Can we do it in the final one? Well, here we go then through the bus stop chicane. The last lap wasn't the best in the bus stop chicane, as we gained another few tenths, and that's up to P4 if I'm correct. Yes, up to P4 we go. So that's a great thing to see, that we can go up the way to P4. Color sign still 3/10 ahead, but the top 3 is really close, within 1/10 of a second, and the top 10 only within 8/10 of a second. So the gap is not that big, and we need to perform if we want to start ahead of them. But into the final part of qualifying we go. As you can see, our first lap of today, or at least in this part of qualifying, and hopefully this is a good one. Of course it's a new style, so I don't expect it, but we can always try. As we go through La Sour onto Eau Rouge and Radia with a Ferrari behind us, so hopefully we are faster than him at least. Otherwise he's going to catch up and being stuck behind us, and that's not something that you like in qualifying. But that's not our problem now, as we go on through the Camel Straight, continuing our lap, and on to the final corners we go. You can see P5 it is for us, but we haven't set a time yet, so we can improve. Color signs, it's not color signs, it's Sergio Perez with a 141.0. And we are now the next one to cross the line, and it's P4 for now, dropping down to P5 as the Ferrari behind us is going up to P2. And we want to do a second lap, not the best run through La Sour, and so we decided to go to our final lap. You can see we are the last driver to go out with 3 minutes remaining, warming up our tires to make sure that we can start our final lap with enough heat in the tires. But yeah, we'll find out how fast we actually are as that is already track limit, so we need to be careful in our last lap, because if we have track limits, we are not going to improve, and we are going to start P8 and maybe even lower. But here we go then, 1 minute 20 to go. The final run here in qualifying today. Can we get pole position? No. That's all I can say about it. We are not going to get pole position also, I think, because it's really hard to get pole position, definitely if you're not good in qualifying, and that's my weakest point. Many of you might already know this, but if you're new to the channel, well, thank you for joining this video and watching it all the way. Already 5 minutes and 40 seconds. So, if you're watching this, just put in the comments SEP 5. That's all I want to know. Then I know who watches it until 5 minutes and 50 seconds. So do that right now and like the video as well, because that helps me. It would spread out to other people who might want to see this video, as we use track limits and we don't get penalized for it, so that's good. And we are now in P10, so hopefully with 7/10 improvement it will help us as we go to improve even further. Never mind, we lose a bit of time here and we gain it back, so that's a good run through the bus of gain, and eventually we finish our qualifying here today in P7. So as you can see, even though we were P4 in Q2, that doesn't mean we are P4 in Q3. So yeah, a 141.7, not the worst, but still a second slower than Carlos Sainz, who was the only driver to enter the 140s. To be honest, I don't know what to expect in the race. Hopefully a good race, as we can gain a few positions at the start. Only the fast guys ahead of us, and one Mercedes wasn't even in Q3.
We're in Belgium once again for today's round of the Formula One World Championship. It's a race that the great Ayrton Senna won 6 times, and in 2019, Charles Leclerc became the first driver to take their maiden win here since Michael Schumacher back in 1992. Spa-Francorchamps today, a circuit that spans 4.35 miles. There are tons of elevation changes along the way too. 19 corners making up this circuit, with 9 of those to the right and the remaining 10 to the left. This track's a great one for fans of pure speed, and the average lap speed comes close to a whopping 145 miles per hour. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. An immense lap from Carlos Sainz yesterday puts him in pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Lightning, Ocon, Tictum, Liam Lawson, and Daniel Ricciardo. Tsunoda, Verstappen, Pierre Gasly, and Magnussen, Schwartzman, Norris, Mick Schumacher, and Lance Stroll, Joe, Latifi, Oscar Piastri. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Alex Albon picks up the last spot on the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Okay, so here we go, the formation lap, and the predicted pit stop strategy is medium to hard or soft to medium to hard. So we are going for the wets to mediums to softs to hards to intermediates, because why not? No, we are doing the mediums to hard strategy, and hopefully that one will work the best. We are probably overcutting our teammates, but maybe if we are fast on them, we are going to undercut them. Depends on how our pace is in this race. But we are now finally lining up for the grids, and maybe we can have a good race as well. That's something that we definitely need, because yeah, we need to gain some points on our teammates. But not only on him, we also need to gain points on Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc, as they are still ahead of us in the standings. But here we go then for the Belgian Grand Prix of MyTeam Season 4. It's the 13th race of the season, and it's lights out, and away we go in P6. And that is because somebody got a penalty. But we don't worry about it too much. We gain no position at the start, going around the outside of Latour. It's always a tricky first corner, as there has been a lot of crashes here in the last years. But we go through it cleanly. Ocon is a great start, almost up to P4. But we go up to Rouge and Radial and gain a position on the Ferrari. Can we even gain a position on George Russell and Esteban Ocon? It looks like it. We have the ultimate straight line speed, as we are now ahead of all 3 guys, and we are up to P4. So only the podium guys are ahead of us. You can see them right in front of us. It's P4 out of Ocon, Russell, and Fernando Alonso. So an amazing start of this race. Hopefully this pace can set through, as we are actually not doing the medium to hard strategy. We are going hards to mediums because I thought I would be stuck in this traffic and I don't want to use my best tires for it. So every time I use my worst tires of the two of them, I always have a great start and don't have the pace to follow the leaders. But hopefully, as we are letting Ocon through for the use of ERS, no, not ERS, DRS, that's what I meant. We hopefully can gain a lot of time back as we are going flat out up Eau Rouge and Radial onto the Camel Straight, and you can see from his onboard we are overtaking him without a problem. The straight line speed is definitely here. Maybe in the corners we are a bit weak, but overall we are still catching up to the driver ahead, and we are fast enough to at least get a podium, maybe even the win. But that depends on how fast our pit stop will go and how the mediums feel. As our first sector is purple, and that's what we like to see. The gap is still 1.5 seconds, but we are closing in step by step. And it doesn't matter how slow the steps are, but as soon as you get the momentum, it will get bigger and bigger and easier to overtake people as the gap is coming down to almost within 1 second, almost within that DRS range that we will need to overtake Leclerc ahead. And to be honest, the ultimate podium for me would look like myself, of course in P1 because I like to win. Then we have Max Verstappen in P2, Charles Leclerc in P3, and if Sainz needs to be in P4, well then he's in P4, because that's the reverse order of how it is in the standings, and that would mean that on the guys further ahead we gain the most amount of points. So hopefully that is the ultimate podium, and that will happen this race. As you can see, lap 12 is our pit stop time. Maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. Then you need to switch back a few seconds and see what it was. So yeah, we are still at 1.2 seconds, not that much gaining anymore in a lap like this. But of course, we will gain time as soon as these guys are getting enough tire wear, because the hards are obviously better. But because of only 22 laps, our pit window is at lap 12, so it's almost the same length of tires that we use then. But you can see, even though the line is red, we go up our route without any problem. And we are now going for the overtake on Charles Leclerc, going for the inside line, switching to the outside. And around the outside we try to go. You can see we are now ahead, but we have a small amount of understeer. And as you can see, not the best line through here. And we lost the position once again. Not that great, but we know that we have the straight line speed. As in lap 9, we are going to try it again. ERS, DRS, slipstream, all that we've got, and even the best engine that we can get. So can we go for the inside line? No, we cannot. We do have a purple first sector, but unfortunately we are not ahead of Charles Leclerc just now. But it's almost time for us to go into the pits as we rush the wall there. Don't know how we didn't get any damage there, but oh damn, luckily we didn't get damage there, because that would have lost us so much time in a track like this. Even though it's a really fast track, well, it's only fast if you have a front wing. If you don't have a front wing, it's really difficult to even get to the finish line. So hopefully we don't lose our front wing in this race. And by the way, because we are now at 13 minutes 46 seconds, let's put another comment to see how much people see until this part of the video. It's just a one-time try to see if you guys watch until the end of the video or not. Let's put Leclerc 16 in chat as well. Not the chats, in I forgot the name. In the comments, of course, as there is a yellow flag and this AlphaTauri out. And I think I heard a message that we had a problem with our engine. And yes, unfortunately, our title hopes are over if it keeps going like this. And I don't know what's wrong with it, because I have every single upgrade on the durability, but that doesn't even matter. We still lose all the positions that we can get, and it's game over.
What a great race then, and a magnificent victory here at the Belgian Grand Prix. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think the key here was just the quality of the racecraft, you know? I mean, how many overtakes did they make overall? I'm sure we have a stat person keeping score somewhere, and it was fantastic to watch, wasn't it? This is a strategic sport at the end of the day, but it's always really gratifying to see close-fought battles on track. It's what all the fans are after.
As we await the winners to take their positions on the podium, one thing is clear. Alpha Tauri have really shown their prowess on the track. This is a team that isn't afraid to take risks, whether that's on the circuit or in the new talent they hire. Well, today, those risks certainly paid off.
Well. Okay, that one. I didn't see that one coming. Pierre Gasly wins the Belgian Grand Prix, and it's Kevin Magnussen in P2. So we didn't lose 25 points to our teammates. We only lost 15, but still it's way too big to gain back. So let's take a look at the standings and the results. What did Kevin Magnussen do with his strategy? A 0 stop, and he's not disqualified. This is the most bugged race I've ever seen then, because that's not even allowed to do a 0 stop. You can see I'm hovering over it because I am so confused. And yeah, Verstappen in P4, myself in P21. Not the result that I like, but hopefully in the Dutch Grand Prix and in the Italian Grand Prix we can fight back to try and gain a lot of points. You can see the gap between Sainz and the second person is 94 points, a lot of points to gain back. Pierre Gasly is up to P12 with 26 points, gaining 25 of them in this race. And yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I want to thank you all for joining me in this journey here today. If you want to see the Dutch Grand Prix as well, then I would say subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord to find out when we do open lobbies. And then we go on to the Dutch Grand Prix in the next video. That's enough for now. I want to thank you all for joining, and goodbye.